Please. Okay, so I have muted you all so that we are undisturbed. Great. We will start with our precepts, the 5 precepts, and then we do the guided meditation. After that, we will get into the discussion on Vitakka saṇṭhāna Sutta, stilling distractive thoughts. Please put your palms together and join me in the chanting of the 5 precepts with 3 refuges. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Pānātipātā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi. Adinādāna vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu micchāchārā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi. Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhāna vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Great. Now we are going to start with our meditation. We'll go on for about 25 minutes with this guided meditation. You may prepare your body and mind by focusing on the quietness in your place now. All the noises eliminated. You have minimum disturbances in where you are seated now. Relax your body starting from the top of your head. Relax the muscles in your head by moving, wiggling, turning if you have to. Your forehead, the muscles surrounding the face area and your back of your head, earlobes, relax these. So when you breathe in, you notice these places vividly, more clearly than you otherwise notice. And your neck and the shoulders, your chest and your back. You notice a straight line, or you adjust your body that way between your neck and your spine. Your shoulders, arms and palms, these are relaxed. You adjust your seat to make yourself feel comfortable, and your knees bent, supporting this guided meditation. Also notice your feet and your toes with ankles. These are relaxed. Now come to breathing in and breathing out mindfully. How closely can you observe each and every breath you are taking? Each breath is a stepping stone for your calmness and tranquility. Now you are able to observe long and short breath as they happen. Taking a long breath, you know you are taking a long breath. Taking a short breath, you know you are taking a short breath. Exhaling a long breath, you know you are exhaling a long breath. Exhaling a short breath, you know you are exhaling a short breath. add another step into this practice, that is to be sensitive to this body as you breathe in and breathe out, experiencing the body, the scope of body that you can sense. You breathe in and you breathe out. Finding more and more tranquility, you now breathe in and breathe out. Look for signs of tranquility as you breathe in and breathe out. From here onwards, you stay observing your mind and occasionally taking few deep breaths to re-establish yourself in your meditation. In observing your mind, see any freedom born of this meditation. You have gone away from sensual pleasures and unwholesome thoughts, and this generates the freedom, pleasure, comfort, a subtle joy in each and every one of you. When your mindfulness is very sharp, you are able to see the thoughts arising and their activity affecting your experience in the body. Focus on letting go, particularly the unwholesome thoughts, replacing them with the happiness of meditation.
this is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another, or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world.
Can you see the screen? If not, please let me know. So this is the discourse on the stilling of thoughts, Vitakka saṇṭhāna Sutta. And let's read it together. Thus have I heard at one point, and this is actually Majjhima Nikaya number 20, not 21. At one time, the Blessed One was staying in Anathapindika's park in Jeta's Grove near Savatthi. There, the Blessed One addressed the monks thus: Bhikshus. Bhante, the monks replied in assent to the Blessed One. The Blessed One said this: Bhikshus, when a monk is devoted to the higher mind, meditation, he should from time to time turn his attention to 5 signs of mental objects. What are the 5? Number 1, thought displacement. Here, monks, while a monk is attending to some sign of mental object and So some sign or a mental object. This is the Pali word here is nimitta. When you attend to a nimitta and there arises in him, it's inevitable that these things arise. Bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, hate, or delusion. So this is mainly focusing on these unwholesome thoughts. Any unwholesome thought is somehow connected with desire, hate, or delusion. But wholesome ones, such as feeling joy born of seclusion, happiness born of seclusion, these are also, somewhat experienced as a mental experience. Then you are not worried about displacing, about their displacement. So this is only about dealing with unwholesome thoughts. Akusala thoughts. Unwholesome is akusala. And the Buddha's instruction here is by attending to a different sign connected with the wholesome. When you attend to a different sign connected with the wholesome, then those bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, hate, or delusion are eliminated and disappear. Then he gives this simile, a little bit more. By their elimination, the mind thus stands firm internally, settles down, becomes unified, and concentrated. See, this is that goal achieved. The goal of concentrating the mind, settling it down, and letting the mind stand firmly, internally. So without any external stimuli, the mind remains settled. And the parable is the parable of the pegs. Just as a skilled carpenter or a carpenter's apprentice striking hard at a large peg, pushing it out, removing the large peg with a smaller one. So here is a wood peg. Any of these, they used to use these, they still do in making furniture. So you remove a small one. The small one here is the unwholesome thought. The large peg is the wholesome one. Let me see. No. The smaller one is the wholesome thought. The larger one definitely has to be the unwholesome. So small and large. So the larger one is already in the wood, and that is the one that is getting bigger, and you want to remove it, displace it. So these are thoughts. Think about replacing them. So you use the method of, the wood carpenter's technique to get that wood peg out of the wood. You use a smaller one and you strike it hard so that the larger one is replaced by this smaller one, and your job is done. Then the Buddha said, then that monk should turn his attention to a different sign connected with the wholesome. By attending to a different sign connected with the wholesome, those bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, hate, or delusion are eliminated and disappear. By their elimination, the mind thus stands firm internally, settles down, becomes unified and concentrated. So now the second technique. So observe a pattern here, going a little bit advanced, each step forward. The second one is therapy for aversion. So this is named by Pirtan. So great that he has organized this very nicely. So let's read this part. If bhikkhus, while the monk is paying attention to a different sign connected with the wholesome, so now you are connected with the wholesome and you are focused on it, and there are still arises in him bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire and hate or with delusion. Then that monk should examine the disadvantage, the danger of those thoughts. It's easy to fall into a pitfall when you are distracted with that thought. So instead, you examine the disadvantage. Instead of falling into it, you examine the danger of those thoughts. Adinava, that is the Pali term, Adinava. Then those thoughts, so this is how you examine them as danger. Those thoughts are unwholesome, they are blameworthy, they bring suffering. So the thought, so this is the Adinava part. You are seeing the danger of it. This is akusala thought. Somebody would, a wise person will blame you for entertaining these thoughts or enjoying them, and they bring suffering. You regret it later. So when you think about the danger of those thoughts, then the bad, unwholesome thoughts are eliminated and disappear, and your mind is concentrated. So then another parable given, parable of the well-dressed. Just as a man or a woman, a youth or maiden, well-dressed and fond of ornaments, would feel troubled, ashamed, disgusted by a carcass of a snake, a dog, or a human hung around his or her neck. I don't know how to hang a human around, human carcass around your neck, but somebody can do it by putting a rope around your neck and then tying it to that rotting carcass. And because this person, anybody who loves to stay clean, this could be a man or a woman who loves, dressing well, and then you feel disgusted, you would feel troubled because you look ugly. So your dress at this part of meditation is your mind. Your mind looks ugly with this unwholesome akusala thought. So all you need to do in this second stage, if that thought is still bothering you, you see the disadvantage of it. It's saying this is unwholesome, this is blameworthy, and this brings suffering if you continue saying or enjoying this thought. And then next one, non-attention, another third technique. This is the third technique, another one. If bhikkhus, while the monk is examining the dangers of these thoughts, that these thoughts are unwholesome, that they are blameworthy, they bring suffering, there still arises in him bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, or with delusion. Then he would not mind them. He should disregard them. So, not minding them and disregarding them means you are not giving any power to those thoughts. While he is not minding, disregarding them, those bad, unwholesome thoughts are eliminated and disappear. By their elimination, the mind thus stands firm, internally settles down, becomes unified and concentrated. Then the parable of the looker is given. Just bhikkhus, just as a man with eyes not wishing to see sights around him would shut his eyes or look away in another direction. So you look away, you close your eyes, so you don't see things. It's like that. With your thoughts, you look away. You are dealing with your thoughts here, so you look away when that thought is still persistent in your experience in that meditation. Now, the fourth technique is thought reduction. If that didn't help, then that monk should attend to the stilling of the thought formation. Stilling of the thought formation. You are not forming any thoughts. You're not giving birth to any thought. You are stilling them. This is how the sutra is named after. Of those bad, unwholesome thoughts, having attended to the stilling of the thought formations, those bad, unwholesome thoughts are eliminated and disappear. I think we did a little bit of this in today's meditation. To abandon these thoughts and remain focused on happiness and pleasure born of meditation. So what you did was focusing on tranquility, signs of tranquility as I worded it in that meditation. So you are attending to the stilling of the thought formation. So you don't let these things arise. Let's see the parable. Parable of the walker. Just as a man, finding no reason for walking fast, he walks slowly. So you are kind of altering your tracks. Finding no reason for walking slowly, he stands, further slows down. Finding no reason for standing, sits down. Finding no reason for sitting down, he lies down, completely stilling them, slowly and gradually. There is a progression here. So thus giving up an awkward posture for an easy one. This is why Bill Gates said he wants to hire someone, he would hire the lazy man, so that that lazy man finds an easy way to get problems solved. So with thoughts, you are kind of, you lie down as if, you slow down completely, not moving. Your body is stilled. So this stilling is what happens with your thoughts. You are letting them, completely slowing them down to the point where you find tranquility in them. This is why this technique is called Vitakka saṇṭhāna. Vitakka is thoughts. Saṇṭhāna is sort of like reduction technique. That's why he has named it as reduction. You bring it down and down and down and down until it's rested, put into resting. The last one, this is the one that has sparked confusion among people. Read it here. If bhikkhus, while the monk is attending to the stilling of the thought formation, there still arises in him bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, or with delusion. Then, we didn't do this today. I almost wanted to do it, but I thought I will introduce it first and then do it in another meditation. Then, with clenched teeth, do it, and the tongue pressing on the palate. He should subdue, restrain, attack the bad mind with the good mind. In this framework, you see this is perfectly in right place. And in another sutra, the Buddha talks about doing it, which is part of self-mortification. And he says he gave up because it's not conducive to any peace of nibbana. But here you have been trying all the techniques that were available to you, and this thought is still bothering you. So look at it figuratively, that what it teaches you is to make maximum effort. Don't run away. Don't give up. Full virya to succeed, to win over this situation. And then it says, with clenched teeth and the tongue pressing on the palate, those bad, unwholesome thoughts are eliminated and disappear. By their elimination, the mind thus stands firm internally, settles down, becomes unified and concentrated. Parable of the wrestlers. Bhikkhus, just as a strong man holding a weaker man by the head or by the shoulders would restrain, subdue, and attack him. Even so, because if that monk is attending to the stilling of the thought formation, there still arises in him bad, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, or with delusion. Then, because with clenched teeth and the tongue pressing on the palate, he should subdue, restrain, attack bad mind with the good mind. Then the bad, unwholesome thoughts are eliminated and they disappear. By their elimination, the mind thus stands firm internally, settles down, becomes unified and concentrated. So then the Buddha lists down the five, focusing on a different side, seeing the dangers of those thoughts, does not mind those thoughts, disregards them, stills the thought formation, and using the clenched teeth and tongue pressing technique. And that monk, because is called the master of the thought paths. This is dealing with thoughts. So you are now, when you have tried all these techniques, one didn't work, you go to the other, you go to the other, that's how you have mastered your thought paths. He will think only the thought that he wants to think. This is how you have mastered now. He will not think the thought that he does not want to think. He has cut down craving, discarded the fetter, saṇṭhāna discarded, penetrated conceit. Conceit is mana, bad one. So you have penetrated through and made an end of suffering. Because of stilling thoughts, you are able to put an end of suffering. The Blessed One said this. The monks joyfully approved of the Blessed One's word. Okay, so it's 8:37. Let's go to the beginning of this a little bit. This sutta has been translated with its commentary and sub-commentary by Somathera in the removal of distracting thoughts. Ñāṇamoli and Bhikkhu Bodhi translated it in the middle-length discourses of the Buddha. The Chinese Agama parallel, Majjhima Agama, is entitled Zheng Shang Xing Jing, agreeing with Majjhima 20 here on locating the discourse at Jeta's Grove near Savatthi. The Chinese Agama version, Majjhima Agama 101, has been studied in some detail by Thich Minh Chow. The middle-length Discourses of the Buddha reminds us that the five signs, nimitta, mentioned in the sutta may be understood as practical methods of removing the distracting thoughts, but should be resorted to only when the distractions become persistent and obtrusive. At other times, the meditator should remain with his primary subject of meditation. These methods, however, are effective means for mental focus in daily tasks like studying and working, and in psychotherapy, such as the treatment for phobias. In modern psychological terms, these five methods may be respectively called thought displacement, aversion therapy, non-attention or avoidance, thought reduction or mental analysis, and sustained effort. So he has a part on fifth method. He's asking whether this is Jain influence from Jainism. The fifth method, sustained effort, is interesting in that it is the first of the Bodhisattva's self-mortification methods mentioned in the Mahasatchaka Sutta. So here's the quote. I thought thus, suppose with my teeth clenched and my tongue pressed against my palate, I beat down the mind with mind. While I did so, it was just like a strong man holding a weaker man by the head or by the shoulders, were to restrain, subdue, attack him. Sweat ran down from my armpit. But although tireless energy was aroused in me and unremitting mindfulness was established, my body was overstrained and uncalm because I was exhausted by the painful striving. But such painful feeling that arose in me did not invade my mind and remain. Some scholars think that this fifth method is out of place here in the Vitakka saṇṭhāna Sutta, as the Buddha discourages the practice of self-mortification. Scholars such as W. L. King and J. Bronkhorst think that the inclusion of this method is due to Jain influence, that Jain practices had come to be accepted by at least some Buddhists. This is, of course, conjectural at best, so it's not supporting this sutra at all. This is out of place, lacking information. Although this method does not work in bringing awakening to the bodhisattva, it is not actually a self-mortifying method, but merely a gesture of unrelenting determination. This is the virya. In fact, the Vitakka saṇṭhāna Sutta does not present this fifth method as one that on its own brings about awakening. It is only a method of the last resort to be applied when all the other attempts to overcome unwholesome thoughts have failed. All right, so look at it that way. When everything else fails, you come to that, and that way you have worked on you have more tools. It's not like the bodhisattva trying without knowing. He didn't have any Buddha, he didn't have any other Kalyana Mitra to guide him into true awakening. No knowledge of that was present. But now you are well equipped. You have the tools. You only need to make use of them and gradually progress towards eliminating thoughts and stilling them, and also do a little bit of mental wrestling, and that's completely fine because you are making maximum effort not to give up and come to final peace by settling down and coming to internal tranquility and clearing your mind, stilling your thoughts through these techniques. Any questions? All right, while you think of questions, let me take you to show something exciting. So last Wednesday and the Wednesday before and this coming Wednesday, we have still some work left on this closet that we built. So your friend Vimal Mahatma is here. Let me show you the pictures. This is this start of our project, and here is us putting drywall, and I was his only helper, and I'm very proud of that. And so this is him applying mud, and me helping him to cut these woods. And here we were testing the space, whether how many statues would fit in there. And now he put some railing. There's a little hole, he had to close it. Some people who are working on something else put that hole in there. So this is a close-up of the railing, or the border, not the railing, border. And he's putting another border up there. And now have he put some, what's it called, the polish to make it shine, this little border. So he put the door and he's happy there. So here's the final closet. And here's us after placing the 28 small Buddha statues in there. So back to the beginning. So that's why we were missing on our Wednesday meditations. He's busy and I'm busy on other days with different things we are doing. So that's what was happening. And this Wednesday, we will not be doing the guided meditation because we still have a little bit of cleaning to do in the carpets, in our new carpets there. So, but we will resume, starting with next Monday and followed with Wednesday and so on. And Bhante Sankecha, I think I hear that he's still planning on coming end of this month, and things will be different after his arrival. All right, so happy meditation. Stay safe, stay sane. Looks like the world has gone out of its orbit, like my professor says. But you can join these meditations. These seem to help you very much, and they help me as well. And yeah, thank you. People saying closet is wonderful. Take care and happy meditation. May all beings be well and happy.